Most Volkswagen owners genuinely believe they're taking good care of their car. They follow the service schedule, use the recommended fluids, warm it up occasionally, and fix things when something breaks. And yet, many Volkswagens quietly degrade year after year, even though nothing ever appears wrong. No warning lights, no obvious failures, just a slow, invisible decline that most owners assume is normal. The real issue isn't neglect, it's a misunderstanding of how German engineering is meant to be used in the real world. When Volkswagens are treated the way they were designed to be treated, they age differently. They stay tight, smooth, and mechanically consistent in ways most cars never do. When they aren't, internal wear builds silently long before any problem becomes obvious. That difference comes down to behavior, not parts. In this video, you'll learn 8 Volkswagen habits that will outlast 99% of cars, habits that align with the engineering instead of fighting it, and separate long-lasting Volkswagens from the ones that slowly destroy themselves despite proper maintenance. Once you understand these habits, the way you drive and maintain your Volkswagen will never be the same. Habit number 8. Stop treating your Volkswagen like a generic car. One of the biggest mistakes Volkswagen owners make is assuming their car should be driven, serviced, and maintained like every other vehicle on the road. It shouldn't. Volkswagen engines are designed with tight tolerances, specific operating temperatures, and control systems that expect a certain type of use. When they're driven like a basic commuter, short trips, constant low load, rushed warm-ups, and early shutdowns, the engine never fully operates in the condition it was designed for. Nothing breaks immediately. Instead, the engine adapts. Fueling changes. Timing compensates. Oil contamination increases. Carbon buildup accelerates. From the driver's seat, everything feels fine. But internally, the engine is constantly correcting for conditions it was never optimized to live in long term. Volkswagens that last are almost always owned by people who understand this difference. They allow the engine to reach proper operating conditions regularly. They don't baby it constantly, but they also don't abuse it. They drive it with intention, letting the car do what it was engineered to do. This single mindset shift alone eliminates a huge percentage of the slow, silent wear that kills Volkswagens early. Treat a Volkswagen like a generic car, and it will age like one. Treat it like the precision machine it is, and it rewards you with durability most drivers never experience. Habit number 7. Respect operating temperature before demanding performance. One of the most overlooked longevity killers in Volkswagens is how the car is driven before it reaches full operating temperature. Modern VW engines are extremely efficient at warming up quickly, which gives many drivers a false sense that the engine is ready long before it actually is. Coolant temperature rises fast, but oil temperature lags behind, and oil is what protects the tight internal components these engines rely on. When a cold or partially warm engine is pushed under load, internal clearances haven't stabilized yet. Oil hasn't thinned to its optimal viscosity, and critical components are forced to operate under stress they weren't designed to handle in that state. Over time, this creates accelerated wear in places you'll never see during routine maintenance, and it's one of the reasons 2 identical Volkswagens with similar service histories can age very differently. Volkswagens that last are driven with patience early on. Not excessively slow, not overly cautious, just deliberate. Owners allow the engine to fully settle into its designed operating range before asking for strong acceleration, high RPM, or sustained load. This habit alone dramatically reduces long-term internal wear and preserves the smoothness and efficiency these engines are known for. Drive a Volkswagen as if warm means ready, and you shorten its lifespan. Drive it as if temperature matters, and the engineering works in your favor. Habit number 6. Stop following one-size-fits-all maintenance advice. One of the quiet reasons many Volkswagens don't age well is bad advice. well-intentioned advice that works fine on other cars but slowly harms German ones. Volkswagen engines and transmissions are engineered around very specific fluid standards, service methods, and tolerances. When generic maintenance shortcuts are used, universal fluids, extended intervals that don't match real driving conditions, or procedures designed for simpler drivetrains, the car still runs, but it no longer operates the way it was designed to. The result isn't immediate failure, it's gradual degradation. Shifting becomes less precise, engine response dulls, systems begin compensating for conditions they shouldn't have to correct. Volkswagens that last are almost always maintained with intent. Owners use fluids that meet exact VW specifications, not compatible alternatives. They adjust service intervals based on how the car is actually driven, not just what the sticker says. They avoid shops that treat the car like any other vehicle. This habit doesn't make the car cheaper to own in the short term, but it makes it dramatically more reliable over time. Volkswagens reward precision, give them generic care, and they age generically. Habit number 5. Don't ignore how the car feels just because there's no warning light. One of the most damaging habits Volkswagen owners develop is trusting the dashboard more than the car itself. Modern Volkswagens are extremely good at hiding problems. They're designed to smooth out roughness, mask drivability issues, and compensate for small irregularities long before a fault ever appears. That refinement is a strength, but it also makes owners complacent. A slight hesitation, a rough cold start, a change in how the transmission responds. These things often get dismissed because nothing is flashing, nothing is stored, and the car still drives fine. Owners whose Volkswagens last pay attention to these early changes. They don't panic, but they don't ignore them either. They investigate patterns, not problems. They notice what's different and address it while it's still small. By the time a warning light finally turns on, the issue has usually existed for a long time. Fixing it early is almost always simpler, cheaper, and far less stressful than waiting for the car to force the decision. Volkswagens rarely fail suddenly. They communicate quietly first. Listening early is one of the most underrated habits of long-lasting VW ownership. Habit number 4, drive the car regularly. Instead of letting it sit, Volkswagens are not designed to sit unused for long periods, even if they are started occasionally or driven only short distances. When a car spends too much time parked, systems that rely on regular operation begin to degrade in subtle ways. Seals dry out, moisture accumulates in fluids, batteries weaken unevenly, and electronic modules experience more stress from repeated cold starts than from steady use. Short, infrequent drives are often worse than no driving at all because the car never reaches stable operating conditions. Volkswagens that last are driven consistently. That does not mean hard driving or excessive mileage, but regular use that allows all systems to cycle, lubricate, and stabilize as intended. Engines stay cleaner, transmissions shift more predictably, and electronic systems remain more reliable. Letting a Volkswagen sit might feel like you are preserving it, but in reality, inactivity accelerates aging. Regular, intentional use keeps the car healthy in ways routine maintenance alone cannot. Use the car as a machine, not as a display piece, and it will reward you with long-term reliability. Habit number 3, stop driving only for fuel economy. One of the most common habits that quietly shortens the life of modern Volkswagens is treating fuel economy as the primary goal of every drive. These engines are engineered to operate across a wide load range, not just at the lowest RPM possible. When a Volkswagen is constantly short-shifted, lugged, and driven under light throttle, combustion efficiency drops and deposits build up in places that were never meant to stay dirty. The car may feel calm and efficient, but internally, it is never being fully exercised. Systems designed to stay clean through proper temperature and load simply never get the chance to do their job. Volkswagens that last are driven with balance. They are allowed to rev when appropriate. They see occasional higher load. They operate through the full range they were engineered for, not just the most economical slice of it. This doesn't mean aggressive driving or abuse. It means understanding that an engine designed for performance and efficiency needs both to stay healthy. Driving only for fuel savings feels responsible in the moment, but over time, it works against the engineering. A Volkswagen that is driven with intent stays cleaner, smoother, and far more reliable. Habit number 2, don't let small maintenance delays stack up. One of the easiest ways to shorten the life of a Volkswagen is by treating small maintenance items as optional or postponable. A minor oil leak, a worn ignition component, a weak battery, or an overdue service interval rarely causes immediate problems. The car continues to run, the dashboard stays quiet, and it feels safe to wait. But Volkswagens are tightly integrated systems, and when one small thing is off, other systems begin compensating for it. What starts as a minor delay slowly increases stress elsewhere. Fuel trims drift, electrical systems work harder, components operate outside their ideal range, and the car becomes less forgiving over time. Volkswagens that last are usually owned by people who address small issues early, not because they are perfectionists, but because they understand how quickly small problems snowball in modern German cars. Staying ahead of minor maintenance keeps the entire system stable. It preserves drivability, reduces long-term wear, and prevents the kind of cascading failures that make these cars feel unreliable. Ignoring small delays doesn't save time or money. It just postpones the cost while multiplying the consequences. Habit number 1, always maintain the car for how you actually use it. The biggest difference between Volkswagens that last and Volkswagens that don't is not brand loyalty, driving skill, or even maintenance frequency. It's whether the car is maintained based on reality instead of assumptions. Service schedules are written for ideal conditions. Perfect fuel, long drives, consistent temperatures, and predictable usage. Most owners don't drive that way. Short trips, traffic, cold starts, heat cycles, and stop-and-go use place. Very different demands on the engine, transmission, and supporting systems. Volkswagens that last are owned by people who adjust maintenance to match how the car is actually used. They shorten intervals when needed. They pay attention to how the car behaves over time. They maintain proactively instead of reactively. This habit doesn't require obsessing over the car or overspending. It requires awareness. Understanding that German engineering performs best when care is aligned with real-world conditions, not just what a manual says on paper. Do this consistently, and every other habit on this list becomes more effective. Ignore it, and even good maintenance eventually falls short. This is the habit that quietly determines whether a Volkswagen becomes a long-term companion or a constant source of frustration. If you've made it this far, you already care more about your Volkswagen than most owners ever will. These habits aren't shortcuts, tricks, or internet myths. They're the small, intentional decisions that work with Volkswagen engineering instead of against it, and they're exactly what separates long-lasting Volkswagens from the ones that slowly become problems. This channel exists for owners who want to understand their cars, not just drive them. At Volkswagen Hub, everything is built around real-world experience, long-term ownership, and cutting through the advice that quietly does more harm than good. If this helped you see your Volkswagen differently, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. New videos go deeper into the habits, features, and engineering details that most owners, and even dealers, never explain. Take care of your Volkswagen the right way, and it will take care of you for a very long time.